Ah!
Oh my god!
I've give up on trying to do that shit.
I'm glad.
I don't know what the hell happens every damn time. It just, I can kind of get started, but fucking StreamYard.
Suck my juicy.
Fuck them.
Yeah. So how you doing tonight, Uncle Bill? It seems like I just saw you.
Yeah, it feels like that we just kind of were like right beside each other watching this fucking movie. Now, before we get started, though, we should probably just bring to everybody's attention that we're not going to be doing any spoilers or anything like that. So, I mean,
yeah, I would feel bad about doing spoilers because not too many people have seen the movie yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're on like the first day that you can literally see it legally anyway. And we don't want to just be giving out spoilers and shit yet until anybody's had a chance to watch it.
So maybe, I don't know if there's Sunday, there's something we could maybe do, or maybe sometime next week after everybody's seen it, do kind of like a spoiler filled discussion on it. But I think you guys have had your fair share of Dead Pit and Scream talk for today, because this is kind of the cherry on top, boys. Started at 7 o'clock this evening, all of the Scream movies in detail, retrospective, the on the road review to Scream 4, and the Scream 5 Cream review last year. So lots of Scream discussions here, and it's ending with Scream 666, the origin of Ghostface.
Oh shit! Ghostface lives,
or Ghostface takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. It's not going to be a very long stream, but I thought it was, oh my God, we got a celebrity in here. Daryl Worley.
Have you forgotten?
What it was like that day. All of the shit got blown up and we got blown away. Something like that. So we're going to do a little bit of a roll call here. T.H. Jamie, he posted this a little bit earlier this evening. I'm a massive fan of the franchise, but I was let down with Scream 6. Alan Stanley and the Izzy. Wrath St. Louis. I just got out of that 2 hour and 13 minute piece of shit, Tony Moran. I'll be back on here when I get home. Okay. 4K Tent Revival, what is going on? Yeah, they didn't really stylize the name too much. They made a Roman numeral 6 out of the M at the end, which I'm fine with. I thought that was okay. Not as cool as 5 Cream.
No.
Yeah.
That was the best marketing campaign they could have come up with, 5 Cream.
Alan Stanley, Crash 517, Robert Scott, Brandon S. Melody Felcher is in the house at My Killer Podcast. Welcome, ma'am. Scratch Bueno. Orc, bro. That's funny because I was texting.
I knew you were going to say
I was
this.
texting Uncle Bill the night.
I about lost it, dude.
I was like, man, Courtney Cox is really starting to look like one of those orcs from Lord of the Rings.
Shit.
Like, she really is. Like, it's starting to look like scary. You know, I mean, does she? I don't want to be mean or anything, but when she looks in the mirror, does she think she's hot or what's the deal? I mean, everybody gets older, right? But fuck, not like that.
Well, there's been some shit where she had plastic surgery, right? She had fillers and stuff put in her cheeks and her lip bones or whatever else she's got, you know. And then she had them taken out. So now she looks like a deflated fucking tire on a Ford Pinto or something.
She had her face stretched too much where, you know, it's almost like a whoopee cushion or something. It's just like stretches out and it just doesn't, you can't really do anything with it. Carlos, say what's going on, man. This is a very special Pit at Night. Yeah, we could have stuck the Pit at Night moniker on this one. Stuntman Mark, I like Scream, but I don't know. Robert Scott is thanking us for no spoilers. Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it myself, and I was like, yeah, I mean, there's not too many people that's seen the movie yet, so. Saturn Video, what's up? Did Melissa Barrera learn to act for this movie?
No,
What do
not
you
really.
think?
It's about the same. I get into that, though, and I've made like a list of good and bad kind of stuff about this movie for me. So,
Scratch
that's part of
Bueno
it.
is begging us to spoil it.
No.
Alan, Stan,
don't
I really
think
don't
we
care about
should.
spoil.
I
Like,
mean,
okay,
honest to God, like, here's what I'll say about this movie. For me personally, like, I haven't seen it, would not give a shit if somebody spoiled it. But I'm sure there are people that do give a shit. So let's just keep that in mind.
yeah, like I said, a lot of people haven't seen it yet, and I'm not one of those people, man. Like, I know that there was a lot of shit that was spoiled on Twitter or something like that. It's like, I think there was even footage that got out a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I hate that. Even if it's a movie that I ultimately like is a piece of shit, I don't condone that at all.
He didn't condone that type of behavior.
No. Beyond the Realms, what is going on, man?
What is up, brother?
Ghostface couldn't possibly do more damage to her than her plastic surgeon. That is true.
That's rough.
Carded or Denshin, do a spoiler section. Well, like I said, we may do a separate stream just and maybe have some of the patrons on here or something and just all kind of get into it in fine detail. But this one tonight, we're going to try to keep this one under an hour because it is a work night and we're killed out, man. I got up at like 6 o'clock this morning and worked all day, and then I went straight to the movie theater and listened to a lot of fucking dumbasses in the movie theater. Did you hear them fucking bitches behind us? Oh, God, they finally kissed. Oh.
I didn't even hear anything. No.
My wife was even talking about how dumb that was. Oh, they kissed. About time. That's what I was waiting on. They kissed. Okay.
That's a spoiler for you.
Yeah, Jenny Ortega and Jason Jordan, they hooked up, kind of.
Yep.
So, spoiler alert, if anybody gives a fuck, oh, they kissing it. Gosh.
Give me the kiss.
Gosh almighty. So, yeah, we saw early, for Eastern Kentucky, it's early. We saw it tonight, 6:50. It debuted in Pikeville. Scream 6, only a year in between. And I wanted to know what you thought about this too before we get into it. There are a lot of parallels from Scream 6 to Scream 2. Comparison into Scream 1 to Scream 2. Which I thought was interesting. So I don't know how much of that we're going to get into or anything. But something else I was thinking about as well. I have seen all of the Scream movies at the Riverfield Inn in Pikeville. I'm almost positive. Aside from, I don't think I watched the first one in the theater, but I think aside from the first one, I've seen all of the other ones at the Riverfield.
I saw the first one at the Strand, and I definitely remember that too. As far as the other ones, I don't remember really where I saw them, except for except for 4 and 5, like of course. But yeah, I gotta say though, man, like, was there a need for it to be 2 hours and however
No.
like that was absolutely like we've always talked about this, but more so with movies like slashers and things. Like whenever they say they're going to be 2 hours or longer, like you can almost guarantee that there's going to be parts of it that you're going to be bored shitless because they're just useless filler stuff like jammed into movies that are that long, and there's no reason for it.
I
Like,
think that that's just mainstream cinema in general. Everything has to be insanely long. And you know what else, man? I wanted to mention too, because they had some trailers at the beginning of this movie tonight. I fucking like loathe anybody that would go to a movie theater to see that shit. That looked like some of the awfulest shit ever
oh,
was.
you talk about yeah. So first it was like it was the Boogeyman, the Stephen King
Which I'm not really
Boogeyman.
talking about that one as
That
much
one
as the other two.
that one looked okay. And then the next one was fucking Dungeons and Dragons, which looked about like one of the
Oh my
worst. It
god.
looked like a Guardians of the Galaxy ripoff that was just like 10 times shittier and cheesier. And like, if you go and see that movie, may God have mercy on your soul because
The
that looks
only people
awful.
the only people that are excited about going to see Dungeons and Dragons and ultimately the ones that are like it, they're fucking mouth breathers that wear NWO Wolfpack shirts that smell like fucking cans of chicken noodle soup. Nasty motherfucker. Nerds. Nerds!
What was the other one too? Because it looked fucking horrible. What was the one?
The Transformers movie
Oh
with
my
the.
god! Yeah,
Jeez. I'm like, are they making another Transformer? Why? Why in the fuck? In this one, there's a ape bod in it. It's a fucking robot ape.
I just like how are they going to make that cool again? That whole franchise is completely just like used up.
God, I was just embarrassed for the people that made either one of those movies. Like, those just look, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? This is just, why? Why would you make another fucking Transformers movies? Those have been like progressively worse each one that comes along, right? I haven't
Yes,
watched that many of
I have
them.
neither. I think I may have watched the first one and then stopped watching them, but they were just like these 12-year-old like kids sitting beside me, and like when that fucking thing started, one of them was like, "Oh god, it's Bumblebee." What?
Oh,
Who gives
okay.
a shit?
Optimus Prime, he's on a damn highway. He's gonna fucking fuck some shit up. And I played with a lot of Transformers as a kid, but I never played with a fucking ape Transformer before. Maybe that was after I grew up a little bit. I forgot that one. But anyway, the new Scream movie undoubtedly is will be better than those pieces of shit when they come
Yeah,
out.
yeah. I don't think there could be much worse than those two movies, especially.
So
Okay, so
let's get into it,
I don't
boss.
know how we're going to do this exactly, but I guess I'll give you a um, brief idea about what the movie's about. I guess first, and that is that basically the main characters from Five Cream have all moved to New York.
The surviving,
The survivors, of course, yeah.
the 4-pack, or
The
is that what they call them?
the core four,
The core four.
yeah,
We
the
are
four
core
pack,
four.
the core. They've moved to New York because Jenna Ortega needs to go to school, and um, they're trying to escape, I guess, in a way.
She wants to get an education,
Okay.
Jenny.
And So they all live right around each other, or they live in an apartment.
Well, they're the core four.
Yeah, they're the core four. And so the one chick,
Sam
Sam is
Sam
going.
Loomis.
Sam Loomis is going to a shrink, and she's trying to get like help with all these like visions and things that she's seeing.
She hears voices in her
Yeah,
head. They talk to her. They tell her
yeah.
shit.
That's one of my least favorite parts about these movies, by the way, is the fucking horrible like Billy Loomis flashback vision scenes where he looks like Courtney Cox now.
Yeah.
The way they've de-aged that or whatever. Anyway, so you got that.
And Jenna is all ready to pop her cherry, I think, in this movie.
She's hot to trot, yeah.
Yeah, she gets pissed off because she's wanting to go get her some dick, and then, her friends kind of fuck it up. And then Jason Jordan of the American Alpha tag team back in the day, you remember them in NXT? He's in this movie. He's starring as Chad, I think, is the name of the character. So, the other two characters, Chad and Mindy. Of course, Chad's played by Jason Jordan, and Mindy is Chad's lesbian sister. Right. From the fifth movie, Five Cream.
I guess. Here's the one thing that they do in these movies that's really a mistake, okay? They make the assumption that the audience knows who any of these past fucking characters are. Because, like, some of the people they were talking about, I was just like, going back to Five Cream, I'm like, I have no fucking idea who they're talking about. Because I watched that movie like one time and I'll never watch it again.
Let me tell you something. I actually tried to watch it again last night. And I remember in the theater actually kind of like halfway liking it, but I could not fucking do it. I could not watch it again.
It's an awful movie.
I tried like for about 20, 25 minutes, and I was like, I'll be all right.
But
there ain't anything in this I need to watch again.
Anytime they're trying to make a revelation about a character from the past movie, I was just like, you got me. You could say anything, and I'd just be like, okay, because I don't know who the fuck you're talking about or what like the connections are. Anyway, so the movie starts, actually, the very beginning scene is, and I was really glad to see her in this, and so was Savannah, because like she's like one of our favorite newer actresses, was that Samara Weaver, whatever her name is.
Ooh, she's weaving and weavering.
She was in she was in Ready or Not. She was in she was in The Babysitter. She was the babysitter in those movies. And basically she was just there to
aged quite well.
Yeah. She was like the opening scene, like she has that's one thing that's odd about this too. That opening scene has zero like to do with anything else in the movie whatsoever, and never really pays off in any way, like towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, so there's an interesting opening scene where you think, okay, are they taking this, because the whole concept of Scream is you're waiting until the very end of the movie to find out who the killer is, right? And we think that maybe they've changed that only to kind of have the rug pulled out from under us.
Yeah.
So, but that was fun. I mean, that was something different. They at least teased it down there for a good 5 to 10 minutes before you realize what was going to go down.
I thought it was going to take a completely different direction, like you said. Like, I thought that was kind of where that whole movie was headed. Not to give it away or anything, but it wasn't. It went like a... So anyway, you get past that part, then you get to the core four.
Yeah. When they start investigating they start getting attacked, and Detective Dermot Mulroney, who, man, that's one guy you just don't want to fuck with. He was one of the young guns.
That's what, yep.
Right? So he's a total badass, but he is like a detective, New York City detective in this. And I think that one of the murders, one of the early clues is the driver's license of Sam is at the scene of one of the murders. So they're kind of looking at her. Sam is kind of, and I'm talking about Melissa Barrera's character. Great actress, by the way. Excellent actress, I think, at least.
Mhm.
And so they kind of like they blaming her online. Everybody thinks that she had more to do with the Woodsboro murders a year earlier and everything. And these new Ghostface murders lead the legendary Hayden Penetrator, who is now in the FBI. She's come back on the scene to help them solve the crime because she wants to get whoever these new Ghostface people are once and for all. She's got a history with Ghostface, even though it's a different fucking person every time.
What did you think about
Hey, Gus.
About Hayden Panera Bread being in this though? Because like she seemed drunk or something. Like if I go back and think about like what made her popular, made her a popular character in Scream 4, it was because of her whole personality and just the fact that she was like super charismatic and charming. And this, she looks like she fucking snorted like 2 or 3 rails of blue pills and then got on screen and was just like, what do I do? I don't know where I'm at.
Here's the thing, like, and again, I don't want to be mean. I shouldn't be talking about anybody's looks. I'm the fucking creepy Kentuckian, but she looks way different than what she did in Scream 4. Like, I don't know what happened there. I mean, it could be blue pills, Uncle Bill. Who's to say?
Listen, there was something going on, man, because she just was off or something. Just acting like she barely talk.
Married to that.
She's married to Vladimir Klitschko,
so
fucking boxer that's the president of Ukraine.
With his kind of
mayor or something.
His kind of money, she could get any kind of drug she wanted to, and evidently, I mean, who knows? I don't know. Vladimir could have punched her in the face a few times or something too.
There was something off about that performance. I don't know what it was, but I'm telling you, like it was nothing like the Scream 4 performance at all.
To be fair though, I mean she has not acted in a movie in like 6 years.
You can definitely tell. It's like she just stumbled across the fucking set and just didn't know her lines or something. Anyway, so there was that part of it.
She's FBI agent Kirby, boss. Fully loaded.
I don't know. I really expected a lot more from that.
Another one though, like he mentioned, Kevin mentioned that Kirby served no purpose. Courtney Cox didn't serve a purpose in this either. They could have totally I'm almost thinking that they didn't need any of the original cast in these first 2 Scream movies.
No. And honestly though, like some of the best acting in this whole thing came from Courtney Cox, I thought. Even though it was really hard for me to look at her because I felt like her face was going to slide off. Like, what was that South Park episode? Oh yeah. Fucking face just slid off. It was like just a skull underneath there. I can't remember who that was now, but like that's what it reminded me of.
Everybody gets older and everything like that, and that's not. Hey, people just fucking get old, right? People don't naturally end up looking like fucking Courtney Cox does right now. She looks like fucking one of the, I mentioned this too. She looks like one of the inbreds from Wrong Turn. She's turning into that. Like,
but I mean, she was okay in the scenes that she was in, especially in the like confrontation scene, which that's already been in like the trailers or whatever too, where she actually confronts Screamy. But I mean, I thought that she was sadly like one of the best. And Jenna Ortega,
she's cute. That's what she's got going for her.
I really expected her to do more too, since she's got all the hype in the world right now. With like, it's like nobody was really that great. Okay, so I guess out of the core 4, I enjoyed the Jason Jordan guy and the chick that was really into movies. Like out of those 4, like Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera are awful. Like they're just not engaging or in any way like, I don't know, fun to watch. And they don't really have anything about them that's memorable.
Something that they are kind of hinting at too, and I don't think this is too much of a spoiler Because ultimately, Sam towards the end of the movie gets a little bit of her dad in her, right? So she gets like and is a really quickly stabbing whoever she's stabbing, and you almost get the feeling that if they continue on with this series, she may be slowly. It's like a slow turn. Uncle Bill
Oh,
on the
they're
dark
working the
side.
slow turn. Yeah.
Yeah,
On the dark side.
because
Oh.
the Eddie and the Cruisers is fucking killer, by the way, and it's a high recommendation for anybody to check out. Both of them.
Here's my thing about this movie too. There's too much shit going on in this movie. There's too many like fucking subplots and like things that go nowhere and blind alleys and things like that. Okay, so number one, the therapist thing with Samantha didn't go anywhere. That had no like relevancy thing going on. The fucking boyfriend
Right.
that didn't go anywhere. I mean, there was no point in that
That's
whatsoever.
like the douchiest fucking guy ever, too. Like, God.
the
For him to ultimately, yeah.
yeah. So I thought also too, just the fact that the opening doesn't go anywhere. Like, I mean, it's fun or whatever, but it doesn't really go anywhere. And I think they were trying to connect it with the rest of the film, but in the most like haphazard fucking way.
It's an interesting thing to do. And I thought it was a pretty cool opening, actually. And we'll talk about, I'm sure people want us to rank the movies now, too. That's always a big thing.
Yeah, Mark. The thing about it was too is that I think I could follow. I'm watching season 9 right now, the X Files, and I can follow that shit more than I could follow everything that was going on in this movie, especially towards the end. I was like, "Who fuck what? Like who?" I have no idea.
Rambo asked a good question, though. Did this film need to exist?
In as much as any of these fucking cash-in franchise movies need to exist, I mean, I guess it's going to make money. People seem to like. I think Scream is really taken over as the franchise now, like more so than like Friday the 13th or even like Halloween. I think more people seem to enjoy Scream.
You mentioned Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for it, man, especially after towards the opening of the movie, the opening 15 minutes of the movie. One of the guys that ends up getting got, we'll just say that, is watching Friday the 13th Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
That's one thing about this movie that I really liked. There was a lot of really good like deep cut references to like horror films and directors, and like there's an Argento reference in there. The guy's wearing an Argento shirt, which I didn't even catch at the beginning of the film. Savannah's the one that caught that. So like and there's some good like movie references in it too. Like they show like movie.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit, TJ. It is kind of it is their Scream 2, essentially, because you can't, like, there's the Scream series is weird though, man, because to me I still think of the Scream movies as a trilogy, which is what it was for years and years and years. And then 4 is kind of by itself, I think, a little bit. And then these other 2 movies are kind of going in their own trilogy. So this is part 2. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, like they're in college. There's kind of a similar ending as to who the killers were. We'll just say that. And, I mean, there's a lot of smaller things about, the definite scenes and stuff like that and mimicking the second movie, which I think is kind of fun. I don't know about you.
I thought it was all right. Like to me, honest to God, the ending of the movie was my least favorite part of the movie. I'm not going to talk about the ending of the movie, but like when it got to that part, because this is how they fuck me every time. I'm always hopeful that they're going to do something at the end of these movies where it's like, oh my God, I can't believe they went there. Like, that's amazing. And they never fucking do, man. Like Scream 5 and this one, they just do something that's just like, Who gives a fuck?
That's true. I mean, I think that any of the Scream movies kind of have that issue because ultimately, like Scream is a murder mystery, really. And then
Yeah.
how many, like you can't really go anywhere else with it. It's always going to be some family member. It's going to be a boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, somebody related to somebody that died earlier. It's the same thing every time, unfortunately. And I don't know how they can ever get away from that. Um,
They can't, and that's the thing. Like, and some of the beats in this film, it's like they feel the need that they have to shove certain things in it from the Scream franchise every time, even smaller things that really don't matter. Like the scene where the chick is describing, like, and this has been in every one of these movies, and I don't feel like it's even necessary at this point. But they did the whole thing where the chick is talking about, well, now we're in a franchise. So in a franchise, these are the rules that are blah, 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 blah. It's like, it's old. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, you don't really care. I wouldn't care if I saw that. I don't imagine many people are sitting around and be like, when is the one character going to come out and give an exposition about like what fucking part of the movie they're in? Like, it just makes it look cheesy when they do that.
Ghostface in this too is like got to be the luckiest motherfucker going because how many times has somebody turned a gun on him and he didn't get hit once?
That's well, yeah. Everybody in this sucks, like in terms of like shooting, and he gets hit in the face with everything in the fucking world too, and doesn't ever like get knocked out or anything. Like
Yeah.
gets hit, he gets hit with a fucking knife rack and a goddamn bar and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, TJ, I agree with this as well. And I think that they changed it
Yeah,
up a little bit in this because there were a lot of plot holes in the fifth movie where it was not plausible at all. And it would have been the same thing with this one as well. But this time they changed it up a little bit. That's all I'll say. So I mean, you can kind of excuse it a little bit more. But we were talking about this briefly after the movie. How do you rank as far as is this one worse than Scream 5? Is this one better than Scream 5?
it's better than I don't rank anything worse than Scream 5. Still, I think that's the worst of the series. That movie is a piece of shit, just all the way through. And like I really feel like that we lived through like a Vietnam of franchise movies there in that year. There was so much shit like Halloween Ends, that fucking the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Netflix thing. It was like your worst nightmare of just the shittiest franchise movies we've been through.
Yeah.
I think it can only go up from there. Like I don't think it could go down.
Yeah, I definitely think it was better than Scream 5. Now, Sarah disagreed. She said that she liked Scream 5 better than Scream 666, the origin of Ghostface.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly I could see it like it, but I don't know. For me, there's just not anything.
What would have put Scream 6 over the edge for me, right? You already had and this was pre-title sequence, right? Where you see the guy watching Jason Takes Manhattan, and I know they probably don't want it because not enough people would know what it was. The music in the title sequence should have been Darkest Side of the Night. How
Yes, yeah.
badass would that have been? And kind of definitely paying a tribute to what ultimately I think people are starting to appreciate Jason Takes Manhattan after fucking 30 years. I think it'd be a cool homage.
It
They
would have been
should
amazing if
have
they'd
done
done
that.
that. Yeah, that would have been the easiest thing to do because that song would have cost him about $5 to get too.
Well, they already had it. I mean, I don't know. They may
Yeah.
have had to pay a little bit extra to use it in a new movie, but it's Paramount, so they already had it.
Well, let's talk about a couple things though, because I just wrote some of this down, just kind of like some things that I actually enjoyed about the movie. The store scene being like the one thing that I like the way that they shot and kind of did the convenience store scene. That was where I thought, all right, when that scene happened, I was like, this is really going to be a lot better because it was done well. It was suspenseful. I know,
Well, those
like,
guys know how to film shit, man. I mean, ain't no denying that this movie was beautifully made, as was
yeah.
the one from last year. I mean, it looks great. Those guys, same guys that did Better Watch Out, and they've done a few movies, but I remember them from that. Their cinematography and everything looked amazing.
The museum idea. I like that idea that there's like this person that's collected all of these Scream artifacts and they've like got a museum of all the shit, together because they're like an obsessive collector of everything related to Scream. And that's been in the trailers and stuff too. So that's not a new
How much
kind of-
money would they have had to buy an old movie theater in New York City?
Exactly. There's one glaring thing about this that I can't talk about that I would love to talk about, but it would give away like the whole thing. But one like huge detail about why this would never happen in real life. And it's so easy that I didn't think about it. Savannah thought about it, but I was like, yeah, that makes perfect fucking sense. Like,
Well, we'll talk about that in our spoiler
Yeah.
filled video or stream or whatever. Card Intervention has a $5 super chat or $2. Thank you, sir. Scream 5 or Scream 1981.
oh, holy
That's
shit.
easy.
Really? I watched
Yes.
that. Which one would you pick?
Scream 5 is better than Scream 81. I'm sorry. It just fucking is.
I kind of agree with that. I watched that recently. And yeah, I don't think there's much more boring shit in the world than Scream 1981.
There was a guy that used to frequent our chats, but I haven't heard from him in a while. I hope everything's okay with him. But he really championed Scream 81. I don't know why. I mean, there's really nothing that happens in that movie at all. People just fucking stand around and talk to each other most of the time, and you can't hardly see them because the movie's so poorly made.
Yeah.
Scream 81's a big piece of shit.
I thought that this one had better references in terms of like just the horror movie references, and some of the pop culture stuff was better than Scream 5. I did think that. I thought that maybe they used the cliche that all the Scream movies have to use a little bit better in this one, where you have to like make references like that constantly. So I thought that was good.
The dialogue was pretty bad, though. Like, I mean,
Yeah, the
just-
dialogue itself was god fucking awful, but it
Yeah.
always is in these movies, though.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I guess they did a good job because all the younger people I hated, right? Because I'm not a fan of like teenagers and young adults and shit now. They're just douchebags, which they all kind of come across as douchebags in this. So that's kind of accurate, I guess. I'll give him that.
You didn't like the core four,
The final four,
final four,
four
yeah,
pack, the four derves.
four derves. I like, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think like it was okay. I'll just say that. I don't think I'm going to go back and revisit this one very much. I probably won't ever watch it again. I don't know.
No, I won't either. I just don't. I don't give a fuck about these type of movies anymore. I've said it 100 times, but it's like it did exactly what I thought it would do. It just existed, and then like it was over, and nothing came out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I think when we talked about this a few weeks ago, I think this is what happened. They just quickly got this out again, very similar to Scream 2. Quickly got it out within the next year. They didn't overthink a lot of the basic shit that usually people overthink. And it was okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how, I really don't know what you would do to make a great Scream movie in 2023. I have no idea.
I don't either.
I don't know what
Well,
you would
actually,
do.
I do think I know one piece of the puzzle that's missing here, but I can't say it either because like it would like also be a spoiler. So we'll talk about that next time too. But here's some of the bad shit I know. So tell me if you think like you agree with this. Number one and first and foremost is the ending for me. There's too much goddamn shit going on, and it's just a nightmare of chaos and just stuff happening and people and characters coming in and out and like
There's one thing in particular that is just too unbelievable, too far fetched.
I think I know what you're talking about, dude.
And I don't want to give it away, but we'll do a separate stream, hopefully, maybe Sunday or Monday night or something like that. Have some more people on to talk with us about the movie. But, I mean, I can't
The
say,
other thing,
I can't say anything.
you know, we can't. Hayden Panera Bread's acting fucking killed me. It killed my soul. Like I tried, but it was just some of the worst shit ever.
How old is she?
She's getting 40. I think she's 40, 41, something like that.
I don't think she's that old, man.
I think
Somebody
she
look
is.
it up.
I'm pretty sure she is.
Maybe she is. Again, she has not aged well. Let's say that. I don't know if it's age or it's substances or what. She's just 33 is what Dave G says.
33? There ain't no fucking way.
What year was she born? Would that have been 1990? Fuck 33. Me, man. So how old would she? She would have been like 20, 21 when Scream 4 came out.
She looks bad then, man. I would have thought.
Yeah.
Good
well, she
Lord.
kind of reminded me of Natty Neidhart a little bit. Natty Neidhart is 40, 42, and she's had all kinds of plastic surgery done.
Yeah, that blew my mind. So other than that, other than those two things, I don't like the Billy Loomis Vision shit. I never did like that. I think it's tacky and just stupid, and they keep doing it for some reason.
Did you notice in this one he's just a fucking reflection in like glass?
Yeah.
So they must have brought him in for like half a day or something.
And I said this before we even saw this movie. I was like, you know, what these sequels to these franchise movies do is they bring in a new crop of kids that you can't fucking stand, that you don't like, and then they take the legacy characters and they bring them in and then they kill them off. Now, I'm not saying they killed off anybody in this movie or anything like that. What I am saying is that there's a pattern to these movies that's really predictable and it really sucks. Like that you go in like knowing what's going to fucking happen like before it happens. But one thing I didn't expect, and this is another thing on my horrible list, is how many goddamn times can somebody get stabbed in this movie and like violently fucking stabbed and like just be fine? Like that happened at least 5 times.
Especially right in the fucking belly too. Like I don't think you can normally, unless you're, you got a couple of inches of fat or something like that, I don't think it's getting stabbed in the intestines and through the spine and shit. You're going to be fucked up at least.
I mean, yeah, there was some like really, like you couldn't really walk away from kind of shit where people just kind of like walked it off like a fucking twisted ankle in a basketball game or something. This one chick gets fucking like stabbed and then like he moves it up her torso and then like 5 minutes later she's fine. She's just like, oh God.
One thing I was thinking though in that
I got a belly ache.
What was it, a gas station scene or something like that? Were they in a gas station or was it a supermarket or I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a convenience store, like gas station.
How badass would it have been if fucking RoboCop come in there?
That looked like the same story came in.
It really did.
Yeah.
You could easily put RoboCop or you could have put Brian Bosworth in there coming to the scene. That'd been badass. Take out Ghostface. Rambo though, he was talking about he hadn't seen Scream 6 yet. There was a trailer, Rambo, that I know that you're going to have a fucking rant on. And I know you're not going to put it in the title or anything, but ultimately you're going to rant about it. And that's that goddamn Dungeons and Dragons movie that they're making. We saw the trailer.
Oh my God.
God. That looks bad. Didn't they do like a Dungeons and Dragons movie about 10, 15 years ago too?
Did they? I remember something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like one of those like Avatar type movies, like CGI or something.
Oh god! Anytime anybody says something like this, though, it makes my asshole want to just fucking chew tobacco. It's a horror movie, not a medical documentary. Yeah, no shit. But like, if you want us to suspend any kind of like disbelief, like it has to make some fucking common sense, man. You can't have people getting stabbed all the way cut through their fucking
And immediately come
like
back on the
abdomen.
scene.
It's like,
Yeah.
come on, this is not supposed to be a horror fucking comedy. We're not dealing with like Brain Dead or something like that here. It's supposed to be like a slasher film. So some of it's at least got to make some sense.
We do have 105 people checking this out live, so definitely thumbs the video up and fondle it real nice. Princess Puffins would appreciate it too. She's telling you right now.
She would.
I didn't even think about this tonight, but I should have brought your Princess Puffin stunt double that I got you back about 6 months ago.
Holy shit, you did? Yeah, why didn't you bring that?
I forgot. I didn't even think about it. I had it in my van and everything, but Sarah picked me up at work and I didn't think about it. So
I was wondering how you got up there, if you just drove from work or like how that worked out.
Sarah picked me up because she's coming up on the way and we save gas because gas keeps fucking going up. That van I drive drinks the fucking gas too.
Yeah.
I hate it. But ultimately, Scream 6, I mean, I didn't have high expectations for it. I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting much, and I really didn't get a whole lot. But I mean, I thought.
That should be the quote that's on the fucking movie. I really wasn't expecting much. I really didn't get a whole lot.
Right. But I mean, it's okay.
That's the best way to describe it ever.
It's a good looking movie. It's well made. But again, like what I was saying earlier, how do you make a great Scream movie now? I think it'd be very difficult.
I just think everything runs its course after a while, right? Like, I mean, like after a while, it's hard to make apparently, it's hard to make a Friday the 13th movie that's worth shit. So it's like, I think that it's just kind of Scream, that idea, the way that movie's constructed, all the beats to the movie has run its course. And now, like, they try to do it, but it's just like, it's just not, it doesn't work somehow or another. I don't know why it doesn't work exactly, but I mean, and well, here's one thing about it too. They don't ever do anything like new and refreshing in these fucking movies to help that out. That's an old, I think it's an Eastern Kentucky saying. It might be just an old
I've heard
Southern
that before. Like my ass, I want you to master my guy.
That's right.
It's like Kjarn. Does anybody in the chat know what Kjarn is?
Kjarny.
I know
It's
nobody
too goddamn
in Michigan
Kjarny.
knows Kjarny. Kjarn. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to say it's a big. We could easily go on here and fucking like throw a fit about how shitty it is and everything else. I didn't think it was that bad, but I'm at the point now where I've seen shit for so many years. I'm not surprised that it's not that great. It's okay. I mean, it's better than part 5. I can give it that at least.
Yeah, that's about all I can say about it. In the grand scheme of like all those movies, like it's better than part 5. I don't think it's better than part 4. And it's definitely not better than the original 3 movies. So it's just kind of, it's the, I don't know. I think really the writing might be the worst part of the whole thing.
Yeah, it was not false advertising though. Prebinator says it was all in. I mean, they filmed a lot of it in New York.
Yeah, now that's another good part of it. You're right. Yeah, it did like. It felt very much like it was there, like they were on the subway, which that scene was good.
That would be a killer movie right there.
Yeah,
Boz versus Ghostface.
Stone Cold Scream Cold.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, if you guys that are all interested, and I'm a huge fan of the first 3 Scream movies, I really am. Like a lot of people shit on Scream 3, but I think there's enough fun stuff in Scream 3. I mean, without even including Creed. So, but yeah, I mean, after that, man, like 4, 5, and 6, basically 5 and 6, I feel could have been reboots. I think that they would have been fine completely rebooting it. Maybe I mean, you could do new characters and everything, kind of make it a sequel, but not have any of the original cast in it, which ultimately they were in it, especially Scream 5, but they weren't really integral parts in it. They didn't need to be in it. What do you think?
Uh, yeah, I mean, basically exactly the same thing. Um,
I think that they could have maybe done it a little differently where if this is a trilogy here, ultimately build up to like the third movie and maybe have some of the old cast finally come back.
well, I think that they. I can't even say this really. It would be nice if they used the original cast in some way that was surprising. I'll say that. Rather than just doing the same shit like over and over and over again with them. And like,
Sydney sends her love.
she needs a better life. She deserves it, bitch.
Her and Mitchell are up in the French Alps
Mitchell.
or whatever.
Just Mark, dude. Mitchell. That'd be so killer. Sydney and Mitchell just had to take the kids up there.
Oh, shit.
She's on vacation. Yeah, she was written out by going on vacation. She went.
We didn't fucking want to pay her. So she's on vacation. She sends her love.
Sydney and Mitchell are in Dollywood. Fuck you. They needed a happy ending. They're in Pigeon Forge, you dumbasses.
They're checking out that pirate show right now. She sent me a text message and said she hopes you all are doing good and get out of Ghostface grasp.
They're at the Comedy Barn, fucking watching the show.
Oh, shit.
They
at Dixie Stampede eating chicken and smelling horse shit. It tastes like I'm eating horse shit. Oh, I send my love to you, man, Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Fuck.
Uh,
But yeah, guys, I mean, anybody in the chat, if you have any other thoughts, anybody that's seen it without doing the spoiler thing, we'll be on here for a couple more minutes.
Landfill Joy, we can't really talk about the opening, I mean, that much without giving away.
I liked it. That was one of the aspects of the movie that I really enjoyed, especially one particular aspect, but I wasn't expecting.
I really wish, though, I like in the beginning of it when they were doing that, I was like, wow, this is really going to go like in a different direction. And then it just got bogged down with all the same bullshit as Scream 5 there for a while, where it just that whole same just bunch of shitheads sitting around talking and just having the worst kind of like hipstery kind of dialogue you can imagine.
The cool thing to me, and Matt's talking about, he says here, I'm not even sure if Scream 1 is all that good. I'd watch 2 or 3 before I'd watch the first one. It's not that it's bad, but I don't know. It's not as fun as a watch for me. I think a lot of the aspects that I love of Scream is it captures that time period perfectly. Like we were in high school at the time. There's a lot of things in that movie, the music, the video store stuff. It just takes me back to that time. And it's probably one of the only horror movies that's like that, really.
Yeah.
So for me, it's nostalgia more than anything. I think it's a great movie too, but it is what it is, I guess.
It's not better than Five Cream though. I mean, what is
right. It is kind of hard to discuss without spoiling it, but we are eventually, maybe within the next week or so, we'll get together and do. I know we don't have a whole lot of stuff actually planned. A week from tomorrow night, we are doing a Patreon community commentary for all of our patrons, and it's going to be on YouTube and everything for Leprechaun from 1992. It's going to be on St. Patty's Day, boys. So you got to wear green or Uncle Bill will pinch your ass.
What?
I said,
no,
yeah,
no, that's harassment. That's no, we can't do that no more.
That's true. You get in trouble for pinching asses now.
But I do like that movie a lot, so I'm interested to watch it again.
Yeah. He's coming to collect the gold.
You're not going to steal me pot of gold.
I haven't watched that movie in a long time. I only own it on DVD, though. I don't think I have it on Blu-ray. So, Rambo's a big Leprechaun fan. Rambo can join us for that, too, if he wants to.
So, I'm curious, though. What would you rate this? Let's go with like a, A to F rating.
I would say C. I would say C plus because they showed Friday the 13th Part 8, a little bit of an homage to Jason Takes Manhattan, which is a classic.
I was going to say C, yeah. I mean, it's just there. It just, like I said, it exists. It's kind of like, that's all I can say about it.
Well, Leprechaun does feature Jennifer Aniston's OG nose.
That's right.
Yeah. It's amazing how much different she looks in that movie now. Phantasmat's asking, are you ready for the onslaught of Blu-ray sales coming up?
No.
I don't know what sales are coming up. I know Hamilton Book had a pretty... Did you end up getting anything in Hamilton Book?
I sure did, yeah. I got a couple of Arrow titles because that's the cheapest I've ever seen that shit.
Well, I finally bought the Tourist Trap as well. It's $7.99.
Yeah.
And it includes the Hamilton Book exclusive slipcover boys.
I got one of those too. In terms of like, I'm trying to remember where I put them now. But there's they got a couple of new like exclusive slipcovers that they're doing, like that are limited to 500. One of them was a Paul Naschy movie I bought too for like $5. Man, that place is crazy cheap with some of the stuff that they put out.
Well, I mean, I think if they have certain items for past a period of time, they just start dropping them. So there's even some Scream Factory titles that's like $4.99, $5.99. Now, most of them suck.
Yeah.
Like that fucking Dance Hall Murders one with Robert Englund did.
Dance Macabre.
Dance Macabre.
Dance Macabre. Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, we got some other stuff planned coming up. Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal. We're going to do our selection show on that at some point in the very near future because we've got about all the, everything ironed out there.
Right? Selection Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be a fun show too. Lots of stuff planned. I think we did finally pass 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. So that's pretty cool.
Shit, we did. Yeah. I was like, I was thinking that we would have a big party for that, but it just kind of came and went. Now, when we get to 10,000, well, these motherfuckers get on here and they're like, I got fucking 600.
Yeah. This is our 8,000 subscriber bash.
It is.
I'm going to bring people on here to talk about how killer I am.
Come on.
Come on. Let's talk about our history together and you coming on here and sucking my balls.
Get over here. Tell me how killer I am. Come on. What is
I'm more comfortable having somebody talk to me like this, Uncle Bill.
That's a cunt. That's a cunt right there.
Yeah, that happens a lot. But thanks to everybody for spectacular.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, whenever we get to 10,000, we might do like a fellatio style celebration. But only celebration we got coming up is I'm going to have a live midweek obliteration show on Wednesday, March the 29th. It's going to celebrate my 29th birthday, Uncle Bill. I'm turning 29 again. It's going to be exciting.
Congratulations, yeah.
And some people will come on there with me if they want to, and we'll talk about all kinds of random shit. Might do some unboxings, so that'll be fun too. But yeah, I guess that is it, guys. We just wanted to keep this one at kind of like an hour, and we appreciate everybody coming out, and definitely thumbs up the video and share it. Tell your friends and family about Dead Pit. Preach the green and black attack, bulls, out to all your neighbors and their kids.
So, I mean, I know you're going to go see this movie no matter what we say. So go out and, watch it, have a good time with it. enjoy the mediocrity that is any of these franchise movies nowadays, and yeah, have fun looking at Courtney Cox disintegrate into a fucking lizard skeleton.
She looks like an orc. Poor old woman. But anyway, guys, everybody have a good night. Get you some rest and have a great weekend. Keep it creepy. So until next time, I'm the Creepy Kentuckian.
I'm Uncle Bill.
Stay tuned to the ballers and shot callers of Horror Talk Radio over at
Deadpit.com.
Give us the thumbs up.
I'm going to tell you who it is right now.
Subscribe. And if you subscribe, here's something else you can do. Once you subscribe, you can click the bell notification, right?
The
and
killer
it'll
was
notify
Fancy
you
Nancy.
anytime that Dead Pit puts up new shit.
Or don't. I really don't give a if you do or
I
don't.
want you to. I want you to.
I don't care.
Let's keep our community growing here on YouTube.
I don't like it. I don't want you to do nothing.
Listen, they need to do that, pal.
No, don't you
Yeah.
dare touch it.
Thumbs up. Subscribe. And click that bell.
Hey everyone, it's Oak Early Jaws. We got some great shirts for you. We got Faces of Death Part 2. We got Creepy Stories to Tell in Kentucky. The Colonel Would Approve. We also got Deadpit.com. We got Deadpit Radio with the little fucking Deadpit dude on there. We got It Never Ends, a Halloween spoof parody of the new movie. We got It at Night. We got the Rat Pack, Uncle Rat himself. It just gets better and better, so go on and get you some shirts over at Team Public. It just gets better and better, boss.
Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. DeadPitOnPatreon.com is the only place to check out a complete archive of the old Dead Pit radio shows all the way back from 2005 on, in addition to the midweek shows and fan commentaries, exclusive podcasts, and much more. Dead Pit on Patreon.com if you're interested. Tiers start at only $1.